Hey guys, today I want to talk about function operations. It's one of those algebra skills that's super important in calculus and really important on the AP test in May as well. So you'll recall that if they give you two functions, three functions, four functions, whatever, you can do operations on them. You can add, subtract, multiply, divide. So number one and two are done for you because I feel like they're really easy. I'm going to go over them. So they give you two functions, h and g, and they ask you to find h plus g of n. Now that's the same thing as just taking h of n plus g of n. So you literally just write the functions next to each other and add them, which you see I laid out here. Here's h right there. Here's, these are different colors so you can see. Here's g right here. And they're both functions of n. I literally just add them up. So how do you add up two functions? Well, you look for like terms and you combine them. So in green, I underline the only things that are like terms. You add them all up, and here's what you have left. Okay? That one should be clear. Hopefully, just literally add up like terms. Number two, they give you two functions, f and g, and this time they're asking you to do f times g of x. Now, I don't want you to confuse that with f of g of x. This is not f of g of x. That's coming up next. So if you see f like fog of x, that's totally different. This is just multiply. So again, you take the f function and multiply it by the g function. So write them out and multiply, and usually this will involve some sort of distributed property, FOIL, however you want to do it. So here are the two. They're both binomials, and I multiplied them. I use distributive property. Combined that to that, that to that, and the second term to both terms as well. Multiplied everything out. This is what I get. Usually when you do this, you will get two like terms in the middle, as you probably hopefully remember. I underline them for you, combine them, and those are the like terms, and you get what's left. That's pretty much it. Those are the easy ones. Now here, these are actual compositions of functions. They give you f and g, and this time they're asking you to find f of g of x. Now that is the exact same thing as saying f of g of x. Okay, it's not adding, it's not subtracting, it's not multiplying or dividing. It's you take the function g, which take the function g and literally take the whole thing and jam it into the input of the other function. Okay, so the function is x squared minus 4. You take this g function and put it in for x. Okay, so I wrote the f function here, and I left a space. Where the x was, right here, I left a big space because that's the input of the function. Instead of plugging in a number, like if I told you x equals 5, you would just plug in 5. But this time, the input is the g function, 2x plus 4. So that is what goes right here, 2x plus 4. And now you have to simplify. If this were, when something like this shows up, it's probably going to be on a multiple choice question, in which case the answers, A, B, C, and D, won't look like this. It'll be simplified. So you want to go through and simplify it like you've been doing since probably Math 2. You can rewrite this as 2x plus 4 times 2x plus 4 if you want, or you can just multiply it out in your head if you can picture it. So let's do it. First we get 4x squared plus 8x, right? And then you get 8x plus 4 times 4 is 16. So it's a basic double distributive property. You could remove the parentheses now since you took care of the squared, and then just put a minus 4 at the end. And now again, as always, at the end you look for like terms. The only like terms here are 8x and 8x, and then the 16 and the minus 4 can go together. So what do we get? 4x squared plus 16x. 16 minus 4 is 12, so plus 12. There you go. You don't have to factor out any common terms. You're good. That is it. Okay? Now number 4. It's written a slightly different way. They give you h and g, and this time they wrote it h of g of x. That's the same thing as saying h of g of x. These mean the same thing. It doesn't say hog. It's h of g of x. So I want you to pause the video, try it on your own, and then we'll reveal the answer step by step. Okay, so right now pause it, take a minute, try it on your own, and then come back to the video. Okay, hopefully you've done that. Hopefully you've tried the problem and you have an answer to check. Let's check it out. First, draw my diagrams because I love being visual. And always pay attention to what function they want you to plug into the other. It's not always the second function into the first function. They could flip around the order. You could even plug a function into itself, which I'll show you in a second. So in this one, I'm going to take the g of x and it says g of x. So you kind of work inside out. Take the g of x and plug it into the h. So plug it into the h where the input is. So your first step should look like that. I copied down the h function, but instead of the x, I put in the g, x plus 1. And now you simplify. I'm going to square this whole thing, and this time I'm going to remember to distribute the 2 at the end, because the other problem didn't have that. This one does. And please, don't ever, I shouldn't have to tell you, don't ever think that this, if you have x plus 1 squared, this is never, ever, ever x squared plus 1 squared. Ever, ever, ever. Okay? When you're doing this, it's x plus 1 times x plus 1. There's more to it. So you got to do your distributive property, etc. When you do that, you should get this. So all this squared led to this. The squared is gone because you've obviously squared the x plus 1. The 2 is still outside waiting to be distributed. You could have done that all in one step if you wanted to, but I'm trying to show you step by step. And now I'm just going to distribute the 2. That should be easy. Everything gets doubled. Bam, 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 single distributive property. And then again, at the end, look for like terms. They're there at the end, just the 2 and 2. Okay, so hopefully you got 2x squared plus 4x plus 4. And what I was saying earlier is that you can compose a function with itself. So if I had h of x and they say what's h of x, that's fine. Just take the function itself and put it into itself. So 2 times blank squared plus 2. There's the outside h. The inside h is just the exact same thing. 2x squared plus 2. As a whole separate problem, just an example, and then you would go through and simplify this. Okay? So make sure you got this skill. Try the check for understanding. It's only one problem, and that's an assignment you got to turn in. So good luck. If there's any questions, please let me know.